Hello, young curiosity viewers. What if I told you that the next global economic superpower isn't a nation you'd expect, but one that has been hiding in plain sight for decades? What if I told you that in a world defined by a powerful U.S. and a rising China, a third titan is quietly emerging, positioned to fundamentally reshape the very fabric of our global supply chains? This isn't a coincidence or a stroke of luck. It's a profound shift driven by a powerful global trend that has placed Mexico at the very center of a new economic era. From its bustling factories in the north to its strategic ports on two oceans, Mexico is quietly but rapidly transforming into the next global manufacturing and economic leader. But why? What has propelled Mexico to the forefront of this new economic order? The answer lies in a powerful combination of geography, policy, and global necessity that has made Mexico a magnet for foreign investment. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll understand why Mexico is not just experiencing a boom, but is on the cusp of becoming the next economic powerhouse, and what challenges it must overcome to secure that future. Before we get started, do me a favor and hit that like button. Seriously, it helps the channel out more than you know. Also, subscribe to Young Curiosity for more in-depth explorations of global issues, and let me know in the comments what you find most surprising about Mexico's economic transformation. The foundation of Mexico's rise to a manufacturing powerhouse isn't new. For decades, the country has been a major player in global supply chains, thanks to its strategic location and a series of groundbreaking trade agreements. The North American Free Trade Agreement, NAFTA, established in 1994, fundamentally integrated the economies of the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. It created a powerful regional bloc, with Mexico becoming a key hub for manufacturing, particularly in the massive automotive industry. But today, that integration is more important than ever, formalized and strengthened by the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, USMCA. This modern trade deal ensures tariff-free access to a massive market and provides a stable regulatory framework that is incredibly attractive to foreign investors. What makes this framework so unique is that it provides a level of security, predictability, and legal recourse that companies simply cannot find in other parts of the world, especially in Asia. The USMCA, along with Mexico's membership in other major agreements like the Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership, CPTPP, gives the country a unique trade advantage, offering access to over 50 countries without the burden of high tariffs. This pre-existing, mature infrastructure for trade is the bedrock upon which Mexico's new economic era is being built. This is not a starting point. It's a culmination of decades of strategic integration. So, if you're finding this as interesting as I am, take a second to give the video a thumbs up. And don't forget to comment with your thoughts on how trade agreements shape a nation's destiny. The primary driver of Mexico's recent economic acceleration is a global phenomenon known as nearshoring. This is a strategy where companies relocate their manufacturing and production processes to a nearby country, closer to their final consumer markets. For U.S. and even European companies, this means moving operations from distant, volatile regions like China to a closer, more reliable location like Mexico. The nearshoring trend has been accelerated by a number of powerful global events. First, the COVID-19 pandemic exposed the fragility of long, complex supply chains that stretched across oceans. Lockdowns, shipping disruptions, and a complete lack of control made companies realize they needed to bring production closer to home to ensure resilience. It wasn't just about cost anymore, it was about survival. Second, rising geopolitical tensions between the U.S. and China have made companies wary of relying heavily on Chinese manufacturing. The threat of tariffs, political instability, and ongoing trade disputes have pushed companies to friendshore, moving their operations to countries that are considered political and economic allies. This is a strategic move to de-risk their entire business. Third, the relentless rise in the cost of labor in China, which has made it far less of a low-cost option than it once was, combined with the surging and unpredictable cost of global shipping, have made the economic argument for nearshoring to Mexico even more compelling. The logistics are simpler, faster, and cheaper. The combination of these factors, the pandemic, geopolitics, and rising costs, has created a perfect storm of opportunity for Mexico, positioning it as the logical and often irresistible alternative. I want to know what you think is the biggest driver of nearshoring. Tell me in the comments, and if this is your first time here, please make sure you've subscribed to Young Curiosity for more content like this. Foreign direct investment, FDI, is the clearest, most undeniable sign of this trend. In recent years, Mexico has seen a jaw-dropping surge in foreign investment, with a record-breaking $36 billion in FDI in 2023. While some of this is a natural rebound from the pandemic, a significant portion is directly attributed to nearshoring. Companies from the U.S., Asia, and Europe are investing billions in new factories and industrial parks, particularly in the northern states bordering the U.S., as well as in central Mexico. The investment is flowing into key sectors with a major focus on the automotive, electronics, and aerospace industries. Companies like Tesla, General Motors, and BMW are either building or expanding their manufacturing facilities in Mexico to produce vehicles and components for the North American market, often with strict USMCA rules of origin in mind. Electronics sector. Manufacturers of everything from appliances to high-tech computer parts are setting up shop to be closer to their U.S. consumers, drastically cutting down on shipping times and costs. Mexico's competitive labor costs, combined with its highly skilled workforce, including a growing number of engineering graduates, make it an incredibly attractive destination. It's a powerful combination. The geographic proximity reduces shipping costs and logistical hurdles, while the human, capital, and trade agreements ensure a seamless transition for production. This isn't just about moving a factory, it's about building an entire new ecosystem of manufacturing, and the money flowing in is the proof. The boom is real. Please consider subscribing to the channel if you're not already part of the community, and let's keep the conversation going. However, Mexico's path to becoming a global powerhouse is not without its significant challenges. The country must address several key issues to fully capitalize on this historic opportunity. The first is infrastructure. The influx of new manufacturing and investment is placing a huge strain on existing infrastructure, from electricity and water supply to roads and ports. Many industrial parks, particularly in the northern border region, are at maximum occupancy, and the demand for new industrial space is soaring. The government must invest heavily in modernizing its power grid, water systems, and transportation networks to support this explosive growth. For example, some regions are already facing power shortages, a critical bottleneck that could slow down the entire nearshoring trend if not addressed quickly. The second major challenge is security. High levels of crime and corruption in certain regions of the country can deter foreign investors and create a climate of uncertainty. While many manufacturing hubs are relatively safe, the country's overall security situation is a concern that must be addressed to attract the full scope of foreign investment that nearshoring promises. Companies are forced to invest in their own security measures, adding to their operational costs. The third challenge is human capital. While Mexico has a young and growing workforce, it must continue to invest in education and training to ensure that its workers have the skills needed for the high-tech, innovation-driven industries of the future. The country must transition from simply being a low-cost assembly location to a hub for high-value research and development. To truly become a leader, Mexico needs to be a place where products are not just assembled, but also designed and engineered. What do you think is the biggest obstacle to Mexico's economic rise, its infrastructure, or its security? Let me know in the comments below. I'm really curious to hear your take. This economic boom also brings a new element, ESG and sustainability. As companies increasingly prioritize environmental, social, and governance factors, Mexico's proximity becomes an even greater advantage. Shipping goods by land from Mexico to the U.S. has a significantly smaller carbon footprint than shipping them across the Pacific from Asia. This makes Mexico an ideal partner for companies looking to meet their sustainability goals. The country's commitment to renewable energy and green initiatives is becoming an important part of the conversation, attracting a new wave of eco-conscious investors. However, this also puts pressure on Mexico to ensure its rapid industrialization doesn't come at a cost to its environment and local communities, a balance that will be crucial to get right. This all ties into the broader socioeconomic impact of this boom. While nearshoring is creating tens of thousands of well-paying jobs and a burgeoning middle class, it also presents challenges like urban sprawl, increased demand for housing and public services, and potential wage disparities between the new high-tech sector and traditional. The government and local communities must manage this growth responsibly to ensure the benefits are shared equitably across the population. It's a delicate balancing act, but one that could lead to a generational transformation for the country. So, what's the final verdict? What does this all mean for the future? In conclusion, Mexico is on the verge of a historic economic transformation, a shift driven by its unique geopolitical position, its favorable trade agreements, and the powerful global trend of nearshoring. The country is no longer just a backdrop for global manufacturing. It is becoming a central player, a crucial link in the new, more resilient global supply chains. While significant challenges remain, from infrastructure to security and human capital, the opportunity is immense. As the world rethinks its reliance on a single manufacturing hub, Mexico is perfectly positioned to emerge as a new economic powerhouse. The rise of this new titan is a powerful to the idea that in a changing world, a country's greatest strength can be its geography and its ability to adapt to a new economic reality. It's a story of a quiet giant that is finally waking up, and the world is taking notice. Thank you for watching, and remember, stay curious. Don't forget to like the video, leave a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe for more content like this.